Thank you all so much for attending. Before we get started, is it okay if I take a photo?
Yes. Oh, I'm doing a video on this one.
I'm going to do an awkward selfie. Smile. Great, thank you. How are we all?
Excellent.
Oh my God.
So before we get started, there's a couple of housekeeping. The toilet is to the left, the second door. If you go down the hall, to the left on the second door. There is refreshments and snacks at the back. You can help yourself. You are the permission, so just help yourself anytime. And I want to give thanks to Marie, our Legacy Events Co, and this beautiful space, Creative Arts Co, for being able to hold the event here. And most importantly, give thanks to those before us, the people, the land, and those future generation of us. So we can all just close our eyes for a moment. And just thanking yourselves for being here. Just breathing in through the nose. And then letting out a sigh if you feel cold. Everything was in room. A couple of housekeeping things, permission things, which you would have got from the events link. Is it okay if tonight would be our unapologetic self?
Yes.
No.
Why did I have even speak to them? And is it okay if tonight we trigger you?
Yes.
Cool. And is it okay if we share from our hearts?
Yes.
And who here is the first time meeting me? Hands up. Okay, cool. Right, put your hand down. So my name is Kyal Neil Currant, and this isn't about me. I'm going to give you a little snippet into my journey, into why this event was created, and snippets into my story throughout the event, not just now. So it's not about me, it's about the speakers, and it's about putting a spotlight on vulnerability. A mother never forgets her firstborn. I remember when I was 2 years old, opening my eyes, wondering where I was. It was 1995. Mother never forgets when she finds out her son's got a disability. How can I support him? How can I love him? Who here knows someone with a disability? And who here has lost someone before? And who here has struggled to express their vulnerability before? See, it was in that room of the doctors that the question was, how do I support myself? And I've grown up not knowing how to express my emotion. I'm gonna leave you with that just a minute. So good to see kids in this venue and all the artwork. This is what life is all about. Enough about my short snippet of my little story. Would you like to hear our first speaker's story?
Yes.
I didn't hear that.
Yes.
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 No!
Send home.
You all go home now. I normally have a palm card with me, but I don't have it, so I'm just fully seeing it all right now. Our first speaker is a gentleman that I think we first connected. Was it on the yacht club?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Lining up registration.
Yeah.
And a million women movement. Everyone heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And who is this guy? And I found out a little bit about your story, a little bit about your journey and what you do. And then he put out a post and he put his hand up straight away. I don't know why I said yes. I just tuned into my knowing inside of me and the energy that I felt, and I was like, sure, come and speak. And I'm keen to hear what your story is because I'm curious to know about your superpower. So, that being said, I'd like to introduce Brett Scott to the stage.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Hello. So, I lost my success. No, I didn't lose my identity. Yeah. Stay with me for one moment. Have you ever been, whether it be speaking or giving a little talk, and you've had all these different ideas going through your head about what should I actually do? You ever had that?
Yes.
Well, that's happened to me today, and so I have a few different scenarios to answer what Kyle's wondering what Brett's going to deliver. I haven't yet decided, but it's in the morning.
You got 10 minutes, bro.
Oh, okay. And by the way, thank you for showing up for Kyle and for Marie and for yourselves, because hopefully, whether it be myself or one of the other speakers, I do hope that something lands for you tonight and it enables you to implement, because part of the problem that I see with personal development, might be mentioned in the workshop, is that there are so many people that are getting motivated, inspired, and then what are they doing? Nothing. Yeah. So hopefully, if you've got a pen or if you've got your phone, if there's something that really sticks for you, just jot it down, because it might be the one thing that really helps you. Is that okay? Put my success on there. Now, it's not Halloween. It's not Halloween. I know it's a better look than I had at the beginning. Now, I don't know what year it was, but I'm sure there was a point in my journey where I did this. Now, of course, not this actual mask, but I thought it might be fun to have that on. And look, who here at one point in their life has been a people pleaser? Well, pretty much everyone. Now, I'm going to say that I'm a recovering people pleaser. And I'm sure there are moments where I still get stuck. Does anyone feel like that? Yeah? And I was talking to Christine. Who's Christine? Somewhere over that. And she was saying, don't mind me quoting, she was saying, I don't give a fuck anymore. Excuse my language, kids, you can hear that. I don't give an F anymore. Now, while I might not have that exact same attitude, I'm definitely at the point where hopefully you like what I'm going to say, but if you don't, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And it's taken me a long time to get to that place. So where I'm going to start now, I'm not promoting this book. In fact, strangely, I haven't even read this book. But I thought, I was looking through my bookshelf and I thought I want to have a couple of books that I can maybe at the end tell you a little bit about why it actually means so much to me. But I thought this is actually a really good title for what I want to talk into. Dare to be yourself. And if you've been around me for a while, which a couple of people in the audience have, especially up front, I like to wear bright colours. Often we're wearing velvet, as I think Marie might have said in one of her posts. But it wasn't always like that. Now, I'm going to start here. 12 years ago, 2014, I had enabled my then wife and I to move to our dream location, Noosa. Anyone been there? Yes? Strange if you haven't been in Queensland. Anyway, we had, as we do, had our vision board, moved to Noosa. I got my I'll tell you her now. And by the way, my son's up the back, Orlando, say hello. He probably didn't hear, that's okay. he's engrossed in Minecraft. Anyway, my Alyssa is my ex-wife, just so I can say, my ex-wife. So Alyssa and I had moved to Noosa. We had rented a house that was way too big for two people. We'd bought a new car. We'd invested in two businesses that hadn't yet taken off. We were super fit, like really fit. Like I was only working 4 hours a day. She wasn't working. She was being a housewife, which was amazing. We finally got pregnant. We'd wanted to get pregnant for such a long time, and I'm not going to give you that backstory, but I received a phone call from the company that I work for, from the admin manager. And she says to me, Brett, we've just done an audit and it looks like we're very out to the tune, at the time, of around $50,000. Now, I didn't purposely do anything wrong, but I definitely did something wrong. And in that very moment, as you do, or as I did, I should say, this was, I'm going to say, I like to call it the straw that broke the camel's back. Because I was definitely making mistakes, as I'm sure hopefully everyone here has made at least one. I was definitely making mistakes. This was the biggest mistake that I ever made. This was the one moment that I knew I couldn't proverbially sweep it under the carpet, as I've done many times. And in that moment, I remember thinking, how did I get here? Am I able to swear? Is that, I don't actually got swear word anyway, so I'm going to use this. I can swear? Okay. How did I effing get here? Like, how did I make so many little mistakes, in fact, that might have felt pretty big? How did I get here? How did I stuff up life so bad? What type of man is going to bring a child into this world who just can't get anything right? Now, as I'm spiraling down, I remember thinking, what's the best way to take my life? What drugs should I take to make it quick? And, all of a sudden, I started to cry. Now, I had never cried as an adult. Never cried as an adult. As I'm crying, I remember saying to myself, I never want to be in this type of situation again. In fact, I never want to be this type of man again. And then all of a sudden, it was like I got hit with a lightning bolt. I was like, when I figure out how to fix my life, I should write a book and help other stupid men figure out how to fix their lives as well. Now, I wasn't stupid, but I definitely made a lot of stupid mistakes. And where I want to go with this story is, well, number one, we did write the book. We did help some stupid men. No, there's no stupid men. We did help some people. And anyway, that was a long journey. Like 4 years from that point, I should say to you, before I go on, I went and told my wife, Alyssa, as I mentioned her name, after I pulled myself together, I went and told her the news. She left. However, the following 4 years, I did so much external, I say external healing. I fixed our relationship. I helped Alyssa to be a stay-at-home mum for the first 3 years of our son's life, or longer than that. I paid off the debt in less than a year, continued working for the company part-time while I was running a brand new gym that I'd opened, became a personal trainer, raised a whole lot of money for young care. So I did a lot of really good external things, repaired relationships with other people. And then finally, the universe, as it does, pulled me into a way to actually go through my own internal healing. Now, I grew up in a spiritual household. I grew up with my mother, my grandmother, my two aunties. I didn't have any male influence. Now, I'm not saying I didn't hang around with any males, just didn't have any father figure influence. I had a father, he's still alive, but I'm going to say what I came to realise is I was abandoned. And so within that, one of the stories was going to be my childhood, teenage, juvenile delinquency, but I'm going to stay with that one. And just say that, let's just say, almost ended up in juvenile detention. And of course, you don't know what you don't know. So it took me to the age of 43 to finally go through that internal healing, understanding what childhood trauma is, and letting go, forgiveness, changing perspective on what actually has occurred, so that I can move forward. Now, my changes were so dramatic for me, that I went, oh my gosh, if this idiot can change, like anyone can. And I'm sure some of you who have been through your own journeys have a similar story. Probably not exactly like mine, but sure it's similar, where you've had to get to that point of going through the internal changes to understand how do you move forward. Can I ask who here has done any internal healing? Yeah? Who here had a childhood? Because I'm sure there are some people who go, well, let me tell you about my childhood. So, where I want to go with this is 2 parts. Number 1, I'm approaching time. Am I? No, I'm going to keep going. Okay, 2 things very quickly. Number 1, as I said in the beginning, it's so vitally important that you figure out who you want to be, you do some work on yourself, internally and externally. That's why I said tonight, if there's something that lands for you, take a note of it. Go, well, that idiot up there said he got through it. Maybe I could too. By the way, I don't think I'm an idiot. So number 1, make sure you stand on your own 2 feet in regards to how you want to shine. And then guess what happens? Some people might go, oh, I like what you're doing, I like what you're saying. Tell me more. And they become part of your circle, your inner circle. That's the first part. The second part that I'm going to end on before I pass on something and not go too much longer is, I think for men, I used to think that I was so untypically male. Now, I don't mean I wasn't going to go and change my gender, but I used to think of this, and I know now it's feminine masculine. Now, I used to think I'm so far removed from being, one of those, jocks, what do we call them here in Australia? Alpha male. And I used to think that I was so far removed from being toxic. And what I came to realise is actually my behaviour, especially in my marriage, I was very toxic. Now, not toxic to the point of domestic violence, but definitely toxic to the point of not honouring the sanctity of what I'd actually gone into. And so I even punished myself for the following 4 years from breaking up with my wife, which I felt was kind of cleansing in some way. And then I forgave myself and allowed myself to move forward. I'm not saying, by the way, any men in the room should punish themselves for a long period of time. Probably wasn't necessary. But I just want to end there to say that whether you're male or female, just remember, when you can get to that place of forgiving yourself and getting to a deep sense of self-love about who you are, and really get connected with what it is you want to do, and put in the action and do it, you're going to be surprised at what actually occurs. Is that good? You happy with that? Good, because I'm letting off. No. Just actually one last thing.
Give it up for Brett, everyone.
Okay. Now, I know someone who's coming up next now brought about 1,000. I'm brought 3. Who here would be interested in reading my book?
It's a good read.
It's a good read?
Yeah.
Give it 1, 2, 3. There we go. We've got 3. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Kyle.
Anyone have any questions? Anyone have any questions for Brett? Based off what he shared?
Can we buy your book?
You want that question?
Can we buy your book?
You can. I didn't bring a whole. I'll sign it up. I can definitely post it. Yeah. If anyone's interested in purchasing my book, absolutely. If you missed out because I know you're all rushing to the front, feel free to let me know. I'll get back to you.
Brett, a round of applause again. A bit of a story, hey? No, where was I? Where was I? I don't know where I was. When you grow up with a disability, you get picked on, bullied, ridiculed. You don't realize the response that has on the body. And most of us in here have done inner work. We know what transformation is, we know the healing that takes place within the body. So you go through your life thinking that it's normal to suppress your emotions. You go through your life thinking that it's normal to not speak up. To shy away. Which is what happened in that incident where my mother found out her son was diagnosed with disability. She shut herself down. I shut myself down. And with my father. Now, I ask you the question, who has lost someone, and most people do. No matter what that is. And it took me a long time many people in my life to lose. To really step onto the stage and share. Have you ever felt like they never belonged? Most of us in there. That's our own personal development, right? What I want to do though right now, before we get our next speaker on, is actually feel into that experience. Because we all know someone with disability. We all know someone that's essentially being bullied. And the funny thing is the body with healing is the body doesn't know the difference. So I want you to just, all of us, you can participate, you don't have to participate, it's completely up to you. Closing down your eyes for a moment. If you have your legs crossed, open them. Closing down your eyes. Tuning into your heart. And I want you to imagine someone you know in your life, whether it's family, friend, someone you've connected with, who's got a disability. And they experience the severity of bullying, of words being thrown at them, and not know how to communicate how they're feeling. Just breathing into that. How would you feel if someone's doing that to you? Because I sure as hell would want to do it to other people. Now with your eyes closed, just breathing into your heart, and imagine if you're a mother, father, if you haven't got children yet, a moment in your life or someone you know's life that have to share from a place of vulnerability. How much courage that takes. And your throat might be tightening up. You might feel sensations in your body that you never felt before until this moment. That is okay. These are areas in your body that's showing you how to respond. Taking another breath into your heart. And feeling into your heart what it'd be like if you lost someone. The guilt, the shame, the grief, the fear. Feeling into all of it. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. See, this event was created from a download I got in Bali in November. And ultimately, I've sat with it the last couple of events now. It's actually for my own pain. I'm not being able to express my voice, not being able to share my vulnerability with people. Because I felt like it was too much. So as you listen to these next stories, I just want you to point a reflection in your own journey on someone you know, whether it's high or low, we welcome it all in here. And it's about bringing forth this change in people so they can share vulnerability, so they don't feel like they're alone. Even though I've had support in my life, I've still felt alone. There's none of this doing it alone anymore. Everyone's just breathing for a moment, just take a collective breath. So, taking a sigh. And if you haven't gathered by now, I'm very spiritual. And we're all spiritual, right? Let's lighten up the mood, shall we? Our next speaker is a woman that, when I first started my journey almost 4 or 5 years ago, we connected. And she brings that weirdness, that wackiness, that what I like to call hate it going attitude. That can be too much. Sometimes it's all the world needs. So we welcome Aldwyn Altuney to the stage.
Who here has a great product, service or message and not enough people know about it? Can I see a show of hands? Okay, it's about half the room. Okay, who here doesn't know what their message is or their service or product yet for the world? Who's in that boat? Okay, all right, a few. All right, wherever you are, it's absolutely perfect. I truly believe everything happens for us, not to us. Now, growing up in the northern beaches area of Sydney, anyone know that area, Manly area, yeah? As a first-generation Australian, people might be wondering why I'm called the media queen. Anyone wondering that? Well, Aldwyn is a very unique name, right? A lot of people have trouble saying that name. I have Greek, Turkish, Ukrainian heritage with a Welsh name. Now, all three countries, Greece, Turkey, and Ukraine or Russia, were all at war with each other at one point, right? So I say my parents had makeup sets and I'm the love child. I'm very grateful for that. I've been spreading the love ever since. But actually, it wasn't always like that. As a kid, in the northern beaches area of Sydney back in the 70s and 80s, it was a very racist kind of time. I think anyone remember the romper stomper days? It was, people didn't really understand people that, had a different heritage too. Even though I was born here in Australia, I thought I looked kind of Aussie, my name was different, the food I took to school was different. I was taking tabbouleh to school. The other kids were taking, white bread with hundreds and thousands on it, and the little ribena poppers. So growing up in that environment, I was bullied as a kid. I never felt I belonged in the schoolyard. I never felt I belonged at home. I had a very strict European father. And my parents were actually born in Turkey and they were Christians in Turkey. So they also had a hell of a time over there being brought up in that environment. And Dad actually never felt he was from there either, even though he was born there because of the Christian background. And in my ancestry, my great grandparents were kulaks, and when Stalin took over in the early 1930s, they killed off all the kulaks. There was tens of thousands of kulaks that they killed off, which they considered, when they turned to communist, they considered it, they wanted to basically wipe out what they called the wealthy class. So my great-grandparents were hung out the front of their house outside of Kiev in Ukraine. When Stalin's got knocked on the toilets to get out of the house. Minus 20 degrees outside. Where are they going to go? Right? So they hung them. My dad's dad was in another part of the Ukraine, and now he starts to speak up against the government about what happened to his parents. And then his friends come and said, you better get out of here, now they're coming to kill you as well. So he ran away to Turkey, met my dad's mum, who's Greek, hence the Greek-Turkish-Ukrainian connection. I'm so grateful that that happened to bring me to this point here, because I know with all of us, we carry at least 16 generations of DNA in us, right? Your ancestors are right here with you, just like mine, right? I've got ancestry, my DNA, my blood, that were killed for stepping up, running for their life, for speaking up. What do we whinge about? I just went to a Brumby rally today. Anyone know what's going on with the Brumbies right now?
Yeah.
It's absolutely disgusting what is happening with the Brumbies right now. Now, these are gentle horses in Kosciuszko National Park that are being shot by helicopters up to 15 times. They have the DNA of our Australian heritage that is actually becoming endangered and even extinct, some of these horses, and the numbers are way inflated, right? I was at a rally today at Broadwater Parklands. There was about 50 people there. I did a few live videos. They're now being seen by hundreds of people. That will now get shared out there. Now, we don't know what we don't know, right? And sometimes I think, we're presented with things in our life because everything happens for us, not to us, right? And sometimes we don't know what that is. So I grew up very angry, very depressed. My dad always said anger is danger. Anyone heard that term, anger is danger? So I internalized my anger for a long time, which actually led to depression. I've had depression. I've had 4 friends who've taken their own lives by the age of 45. And this is an epidemic right now. The mental health crisis out there is an absolute epidemic. Through COVID, we had about 1 million people a year before COVID take their own lives. That went up 4 times after COVID. And now we've got all these other pressures happening, right? And the pressures will keep happening because the yin yang of life. There's always going to be dark, there's always going to be light forces. But the question is, what are you doing about the experiences that are coming your way? Or perhaps what has been there for your ancestry, what has been there in your DNA. Now in 2023, I got swept out to sea in Coffs Harbour. I thought that was going to be the last day that I was going to be on the planet. I remember being in the middle of the ocean after we'd been forward driving at South Bowandy Beach. Anyone know that area? South Bowandy. We went forward driving right up to the end of the beach. There's a creek at the end of the beach there. And I hopped into the creek and my friends had gone up ahead of me and they started to walk back. Because what happens in this creek, you hop in, the water comes up to your knees. So I hopped in, friends are walking back and I'm floating down this beautiful big creek. And a sandbank stops you normally, and you get out and come back. Well, I went down this creek and closing my eyes, beautiful sunny day, and suddenly I hear things unsettled a bit around me. I open my eyes and there's this massive wave above me, about the height of this ceiling right here. A massive wave came over me. I just went straight under it, and then another wave, and then another wave, and before I knew it, I was tumbled and taken way out to the middle of the ocean. No lifesavers, no boats. It's dark when you're in deep ocean. I was paranoid about sharks. I remember looking down, and because this area is known for sharks, paranoid looking down and then thinking, doing my best not to be paranoid. And then this thought came to me. I thought, oh my God, I've said to people that if I die, the ocean would be a great way to go. And then I went into the ocean, oh my God, if I manifested this moment, I think, no, don't think about that, don't worry, no, just stay calm. And then thank God my breath worked. I said, I just keep breathing, keep my head above water, keep breathing. And I had to keep my head above water, and I knew not to fight it because I've been caught in many rips before, but this wasn't like a normal rip. It just kept going further and further out to sea. Like there was no coming back to the I had to let go. I had to trust. I had to think to myself, okay, this is happening for me, not to me. Well, thankfully, my friends sought help. The whole story is in the Fear to Freedom book, which we've got here. The reason we put this book out with Leanne Clune last year is because anywhere you stopped in life, there's some kind of fear going on. And how can you move to freedom? And here we had 13 people, amazing people from around Australia, sharing their stories of how they've overcome some kind of challenge. And you have stories in your life where you've overcome some kind of challenge. And there's clues in those stories. I saw a lot of animal cruelty for years. I decided to do something about it. Started the world's first Animal Action Day in 2007. We've now done 19 annual events. This is our 20th annual event, raising awareness, appreciation, and respect for all animals. Because it was not okay that animal cruelty was happening as much as it was happening. It's not okay. And if we don't speak up about it, we are being part of the problem. I truly believe that. Even if it's just sharing a post or signing a petition or making a different choice when you go shopping, right? There's something we can all do. And if we all think it's all too much, what can I do as the Lord me? As I did think for a long time. I did think I was helpless and hopeless for a long time. And I did think, what can I do as the Lord me? And I invested heavily in myself, right? $1 million plus I've invested in my business and personal development. Yes, I needed a lot of help. I'm sure I still need a lot of help, but this is life, right? It's the ongoing journey of life. It's the roller coaster ride of life. And I'm so grateful for all of it. So grateful for all of it. So the Brumby Rally happened today. These beautiful, gentle, gorgeous horses that the government are calling feral pests. So while they're saying that they're hard hooves of these beautiful Brumbies are wrecking the environment, the Hydro 2.0 project is going. And did you know that this $62 billion project in the Snowy Mountains, they're actually about 1 kilometre underground and 40 kilometres, they're drilling a massive tunnel in the name of green energy. There's nothing green about that green energy going on, or windmills or anything else, right? So do your own research. Do your own research. But, we're living in a time where there's some mad stuff going on, right? And a lot of it we can't control. Right? So what can we control? What can we do to create change? What can we do to share from the heart, to tune into what is it that has made us mad, sad, or glad? And how can we share that? Now I'm doing my bit to help transform from helping people move through depression and suicide. We had a Good News Day started in 2018, 8th of the 18. an annual Good News Day to share gratitude and good news. Now we have the Global Good News Challenge every month, and this month for June is our 6-year anniversary. Every month it's a free challenge, sharing gratitude and good news, and I invite you to do the challenge and to see how you feel when you get into gratitude and look at the areas of your life or the things that have happened for you that may actually be blessings in disguise. I want to leave you with this quote, one of my favourite quotes from Gandhi. Let's be the change you wish to see in the world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kyal.
Do you have any questions for Aldwyn?
I have some books over here if you want to come and see me with that. Questions?
No questions?
No
Great.
questions.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you for such a powerful and impactful speech. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I share from the heart all the time, and I often cry. And people say, "Don't cry on stage." You know, we have tear ducts for a reason. You know, let the emotions flow. And this is where we have dis-ease in the body when we don't express our emotions. And nowadays, I can express my anger much better than I ever could in the past. So, without hurting anyone, of course, right? It's good to sometimes channel those emotions and do something positive with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, if you're looking at my feet, it's because I'm taking my shoes off. I mentioned earlier if you've ever lost someone. When you grow up, you look at people that inspire you, that you want to be like, whether it's Gandhi, whether it's one of my is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, or whether it's just a friend. A brother, friend, a sister. And what happens to us when we lose someone so close? Someone that treats you like yourself, someone that allows you to be you without judgment, without seeing another person but your heart. And it was August 2021. That I lost that person. You know how angry I was at the world. Someone who changed my life. That was the moment I decided to do something with my life. Because if not then, when? I'm sure I was that weird, funky guy. Just like all the speakers that are going to be presenting tonight. very blessed to be able to be here. Most importantly, see everyone here. And it's not all anger, it's joy, it's happiness, it's all of it. How can you be with all of it in one moment and still move forward? Just like Aldwyn brings the joy and weirdness and quirkiness out, and Brett brings the expression and the flamboyant out. Like, where can you do that in your life? Before our next speaker, let's enjoy the time we have right now, in this moment. Sometimes I don't even know where I'm going with my words. All I know is I trust in whatever's coming through me. This is exactly why this stage is good. We can have the perfect pitch, we can have the perfect story. Unless that lands on people. Unless it lands within you, it's going to land within others. Because tomorrow's not guaranteed. So you ready for our next speaker?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Yeah. I met this woman 2-3 weeks ago. Oh no, a month ago. At a speaker training that I helped co-facilitate with Marie at this space. And I got to share a car ride with her on the way back, and we were talking about relationships, we were talking about all the things we talk about in personal development. And something in me was like, you can have her on stage. I don't know why. I just chose to decide to have her on the stage. And I invite you and give a round of applause for Vilma.
Hi, can we do selfie first, introductions later?
Sure.
Amazing, thank you. Good evening. My name is Vilma. I'm from Laleo Counselling and Coaching. I'm a relationship guru focusing on all things relationships. I love to help create playful, blissful, sensual, strong and powerful relationships. And I love that will help build and form healthy generational ripple effects. Because we all know when relationships flourish, families, children, and communities do too. Would you agree? Yeah. So relationships is one of the most greatest responsibilities we will have on this earth. Doing them well, showing up, being vulnerable in them, making a change. It is one of the most important jobs we have, but we often think it's just all about us. It's not. We are creating generational ripple effects, whether we like to think it or not. We are dipping our finger in the oceans of how relationships are done, how we model them. So, would you believe me if I said relationships are simple? No?
Shaking heads back.
It's interesting. I do think that. Can I add to that? Would you believe me if I said relationships are simple, they're not easy?
Yeah.
Would you believe that?
Yes.
So we just got to choose our heart. We just got to choose the hard we want to take. And that hard could be showing up vulnerably. That hard is choosing each other every single day, even when it doesn't feel good to. And that hard then gives us beautiful rewards. Or we can choose the hard of not showing up, which follows the hard of relationship breakdown. We've just got to choose our hard. I know it takes two, trust me, I know. I've seen it often in my practice and I have lived it myself. I know it takes two to build a relationship and to tear one down. So often we're not vulnerable enough in relationships. And I'm here to ask, to let you know, relationships are going to be one of the biggest things we take on board that are going to require the most amount of vulnerability. The biggest experiences that we have, sometimes the most difficult, yet the most beautiful, require the most vulnerability. But it's often that same space is where the most ego plays, the most pride has its place, when really it's where vulnerability should have the most space. Have you ever tried to craft an apology to your partner? Have you?
Yep.
Have you really tried to tap in and say, I know you know what I mean. Have you really genuinely said, honey, in order for me to heal right now, what I need from you is this. I need it to sound like this. I need you to word it to me like this. I'm amazed at how difficult that is for people to do. And where they go is in that space, which as a relationship therapist, I totally disagree with, and I don't often allow my clients to dwell in there very long, is when they say, but he should know what I want. We expect our beloved to be a mind reader. But instead, we can actually fall into that place of being so vulnerable that we can say, this is actually what I really need for my healing from you. And then, when you're the partner that's being asked for that apology, do you actually delve into the vulnerability of giving that beautiful apology to your partner? Do we really? What rises up? Ego. I'm not going to do that. They don't really deserve that. I'm still so angry. But instead, this is our beloved, this is our chosen one we have chosen to spend our life with, yet we are the most brutal to them. This is where vulnerability really steps in. And I love the theme of this because change will only happen through vulnerability. I'd like to add to that, healthy change will only happen through vulnerability. So often relationship problems aren't a communication problem. Would you believe me there? Everyone often says, communication is the number one thing they want to learn. But I'm here to let you know and debunk that is no, vulnerability is the number one relationship problem. Is that we don't go into vulnerability deep enough. So it's interesting to think that relationships are so influential of how we do everything in life. They will impact how we are loved. It will impact how we give love. It will impact where we choose to live. It will impact how our children are brought up. How our children are even treated is based off who we choose. It will even impact what we eat sometimes, where we eat, how we eat. And we need to give it that value. Choosing our lifelong partner is one of the greatest responsibilities, alongside of doing relationships well, that we have. But often in my practice, what I see is people have flippantly fallen into this relationship. And they give it more than time it needs, even though deep inside themselves, they know it's not okay. And it's time for them to get out. From my experience, that's been because of a lack of self-worth. A lack of true personal vulnerability. So, I've been with my man for 34 years. We were high school sweethearts. Married 31 years now. Woo! 4 adult children, 3 grandbabies, and I can still describe our relationship as blissful. My husband is here, Matt. Would you agree our relationship has been hard at times?
Yes.
Yeah. Would you describe it as blissful?
Yes.
I'm here to let you know it is possible. It is so possible. And where it's possible is when we dive into that real vulnerability. For our 30th anniversary, Matt took me to Santorini. It was a dream location. I wanted to, since I was 8, go to that place, wherever that was. I had no clue at the time where the white buildings were and the blue rooftops. I really wanted to go to Santorini. We went there for our 30th anniversary. And we're often commented by the maitre d's and the restaurant owners saying, wow, your connection, your energy is amazing. Like, is this your honeymoon? Is this your first anniversary? And I would say, no, this is our 30th anniversary. And they'd be like, oh my goodness, like, what's your secret? This is incredible. They'd often have people that were now coming only for 1 or 3 or 7 years, never beyond the 10-year mark, let alone the 30 mark, let alone 30 years of being blissfully married. I returned home to want to see, okay, my vulnerability was, how can I deconstruct that? What have we done that has made the difference? And as a relationship therapist, I have put together 11 processes that I have noticed we have put in place. It was on my heart to know to just follow it, to do it for us, that I believe have led us to have the relationship we have now. I'm running a seminar next month, which will be here, called Bringing Back the Bliss, and it covers my 11 processes that I help couples put in place, because we could rise to the level of our goals, but we'll always fall to the level of our processes. And if we don't have those processes in place, and if they are not healthy, that is where the relationship breakdown comes. We have to be prepared to do those processes even in the difficult times. So when it's tough, when you're busy, having these processes in place is what helps the relationship continuing to go, so that it is there for the beautiful times, for the amazing holidays, for the times that you're connecting with friends and you can say that we have been together for 1 year, 3 years, and 30. My name is Vilma. I'm from Laleo Counselling and Coaching. I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your time with me, for allowing me to share my heart. You've been a beautiful audience. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Vilma?
What's the secret?
That's the secret we always ask. And my vulnerability was, I thought it had to be something huge and something profound. And as I went home and I started to put into words what was coming through my heart and my mind. I was really, oh my goodness, these are just little things that we were doing. That my vulnerability was in, how am I going to tell people, oh, these are the 11 processes that you do, and it'll save your marriage, and trust me, it'll be okay. Everyone's going to think that they were going to look for like massive, like life-changing things. The secret is in the little things. I'm going to leave you with a little secret that I do love to share. One of the processes that I put in place is giving each other a kiss when you're leaving the car. Now, often it could be like we're so rushed, someone's getting the kids, someone's angry because they didn't put the right shoes on the child's still hungry, they've left the wallet behind, the keys are still wherever they are, and you're feeling that energy. You know what I'm talking about? There's lots of head nods here. So, and you get to your destination and there's that feeling, that energy between you both, and you're kind of like, wow, okay, we've just got to face wherever we're going now. One of the processes is to lean in, give each other a kiss, which solidifies you both as a team again, that you can tackle what needs to happen outside of there. That chemistry, when your lips touch, help you to know you're both on the same team. It also helps to know that anything that is needed to be discussed can wait. You're saying to your beloved, I love you. You mean so much to me. Let's do this together. It doesn't mean that whatever has happened before is irrelevant, and by no means does it get swept under the rug. That's one of the other processes. But it gives the time that will be discussed after. But for now, it's proven that you're both still in love, you both still choose one another, and that creates that bliss. That's one of the secret processes. Nice.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a 20-minute break. So you don't want to go buffer.
Yay! Hope you've enjoyed that. We are at Premier Speaker event, and got some awesome people here in the room. Here's Mr. here. Mr. Andy's just turned up. Yay! Very grateful to be speaking here today. Thanks to Kyal, and what a great event. I'm really enjoying the other speakers as well. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back after this short break. Bye for now.